Hello, hi again to Dr. English YouTube channel. This is Dr. Mafi. I'm a PhD in applied linguistics, and I've been teaching English for many years. Well, today's topic is very important. This is the continuation of the series of videos that I'm recording for you, just for you, so that you know about all of the English tenses. Well, if you know, I've already recorded a couple of videos. One, I generally talked about all of the English tenses, 12 tenses, on this whiteboard here. But in the other videos, I specified each video to each English tense. Well, today we're going to focus on present perfect progressive tense, otherwise known as present perfect continuous tense. Well, it is composed of have or has been plus verb plus ing, present participle, verb plus ing, right? Have been or has been plus verb plus ing, like these examples, all right? But before I start telling you about my example, well, I need to tell you the use or when we use this tense, this particular tense. Well, we use this tense in order to refer to a kind of action that has started in the past, came up to now, and probably continues into the future, right? It's still present tense. It is part of the present category of English tenses, right? It's not past. It's present perfect continuous tense or progressive tense, right? So we are talking about a kind of ongoing action. There's an emphasis on the continuity, the continuousness, the ongoing nature of the action we use this tense for, right? Like these examples, all right? I hope this would be clarified through my examples. I've been teaching English, this is a true sentence. I've been teaching English for 28 years now. I've been teaching English. I have been teaching verb plus ing English for many years, for 28 years now, all right? So it means that the action of my teaching English came up to now. It started in the past 20 years ago, right? It started back then, 1997, if I'm not mistaken. Well, and then continue up to 2025 and probably continues into the future if I'm alive, right? Well, so if you note this function word for, all right, and also since, these are very famous, actually, or you could see them a lot and pretty common phase, basically, in the present perfect progressive tense. Or she's been waiting for me since 9 o'clock. I stood her up, or something came up, so I didn't actually go to my rendezvous or my date or whatever, and then she's been waiting for me for probably many minutes or hours, right? Or since 9 o'clock. Since 9 o'clock. For example, now it's 10, since 9 o'clock, right? It means that she's been waiting for me for an hour, right? For example, in restaurant. Anyway, so she has been waiting, right? Waiting for me since 9 o'clock, okay? Well, so note please the function words for and since. For and since, okay? I already told you in one of the other videos about for and since, actually, when I was talking about present perfect tense, not progressive, present perfect tense. You remember these two function words along with some other function words such as several, many, already, yet, just, right? Well, now you may think, why do we use present perfect progressive tense when we have present perfect tense? So that's a valid question. Now, let's focus on this axis, the axis of time. It's pretty famous with my students. I already gave them this, and I always talk about the axis of time. Very important axis, all right? So this is going backward in time, right? Past time, future, and this is now, right? Present moment, okay. Now, when we use present perfect tense, this action started in the past and finished in the past, or probably before now, okay? So it's somehow finished. It's something like a past tense, basically, all right? Something like a past tense. In the simple past tense, normally you could use any time adverbs, right? Like 2 years ago, last week, all right? Or yesterday. But in the present perfect tense, that's the difference between present perfect tense and simple past tense. We don't use any specific time adverbs. We can use general time expressions, such as for, just, already, since, okay? Like for 2 years. We haven't given any specific point in time, like yesterday, like last week, 2 years ago, right? But in the present perfect tense, so we can use time expressions, but generally, not a specific time adverbs or time expressions, okay? Well, but back to our difference or the subject, the difference between present perfect tense and present perfect progressive tense. Well, in here, the first one, present perfect tense, it started and finished in the past, usually, or before now. This is what we know for sure, okay? Or at least up to now. And there is an emphasis on the ongoing nature of the verb. That's another difference. But when we use present perfect progressive or continuous tense, there is an emphasis on the ongoing nature of the action, right? So we emphasize the continuity, the continuation of the action. Not only that, but also it started in the past, true. Although it started past, it didn't finish up to now. And probably it will continue into the future. Probably. Very strongly, right? So that's the difference between present perfect and present perfect progressive tenses. Well, back to our usual examples. All right, that was a parenthetical somehow addition or additional, let's say, a subject or talking about or question you may think of, in fact, the difference between present perfect tense and present perfect progressive tense. But here we were focusing on present perfect progressive tense. As you know, have or has been, verb plus ing. So how do we make these sentences, these affirmative sentences, negative? Very easy. You put not here, right? Not here, and you make it negative. Okay? How about questions? Well, again, it's easy. You just bring have to the beginning and make it a question. Has to the beginning and make it a question. Like, have you been teaching English for example, many years? Yes, I have. No, I haven't. Right? Or has she been waiting for me since 9 o'clock? Yes, she has. Or no, she hasn't. All right? If you have any questions, let me know what you think. And remember to give me a thumbs up. Thank you.